Hey guys, welcome back to the Hobby Table Collector's Home. Hey, I know it's been a while since I've had a video up. Just had a lot going on. Just in full transparency, I do this on my part-time aspects. I work full-time in a warehouse environment and 12 hours a day. And I have some days where, hey, I'm 50 years old, it catches up to me. And then we may be moving locations up further of the East Coast. We're in Virginia right now, so we may be heading a little further up. Don't know yet, but hey, that's future stuff, so we're going to jump into the right now. And right now, what we are going to do is, it's been a while since I've had one, and I do like to do update videos to see if any businesses that we've done past videos on, if they've had some issues or things that we've noticed, have they made any improvements? Are they still as good? Are they still bad? Whatever the case may be. But in this case, we're dealing with one of our more favorable type ones, and that is Pristine Auction. Now, Pristine Auction, of course, is an auction site. It's on pristineauctions.com. You can find a variety of different items there, from sports to movies and a little bit of everything, even coin collecting type stuff. I mean, they got a lot of different stuff, and they have different type auctions that range from daily that start off at $1. And then they have others that go for a couple days. They start off at like $20, $50. But it's a range and everything. So, but in the past videos, if you've ever seen these, and we've always had the same issues on some of the things. One is shipping. How do they ship the items? It was in the past about 1 in 5 items we got from them had damages through the shipping because of poor packaging, and it just wasn't secured. Things happened. They got dented, mangled, bent up, and the inside packaging just did not protect it. Second was damages to the items themselves that either were through shipping or possibly that's just the way it was. Now, the way they post it in their descriptions is one of two ways. First one being that it's a stock photo, and what that means, if you're not familiar with it, means that's kind of what it looks like, but you're not going to be getting that exact one that's shown. The other item is that they have is see our high resolution images for product, description or images, conditions, whatnot. But I can tell you, even on their so-called high image remedies, they do not always show issues that you get when you come in. They're just not there. The third item that we have come across is on the authentication. No, not fakes. I will say, never had any fake issues with their autographs or anything like that. In ones that I've kind of had some concerns over, I've had them double checked, and I'll send them back to like JSA or someone like that just to have them rechecked, and they've always come back legit. So I've never had any problems with that. But the problems I do have is their authentication. Their website, their auction page for an item will state that it's, for example, JSA, and then in their pictures and the descriptions, it says it has a sticker on the item and has that separate card. Then when you get it, that card is not there. Now, of course, they'll say, well, it's not needed. It's just a collector's type thing. It's just for collecting purposes. You really don't need it for authentication purposes. Well, some collectors do like to have that for various reasons. But like I pointed out to them one time when I contacted them about that, and that was their answer. But I came back and said, well, it's not so much the point of having that card for collecting aspect or authentication purposes. It's because you stated it was there. It was part of the item, and you failed to deliver on that. You didn't do it. That can affect people's bidding. So that's happened too. And then the another issue I've come across dealing with their authentication is when I've ran the numbers, like if it's a JSA and I go to JSA site, put in the number, it's either not on file, which I've seen that happen. You contact them and they get it in file after they verify everything. Or I've had this happen too a couple times. The name that was associated with that authentication number was not the signature on the item. It didn't match. It was kind of like saying, hey, I purchase a David Tennant item, and when I ran the number on the sticker, it said it was Jerry Ryan. Yeah, that I've had that happen. Not those particular people, but that sort of thing. And I had to contact Pristine Auction, which they'll direct you on how to fix that, or you can just do it yourself and contact, like, if it was through Beckett, just send it to Beckett, you know, contact them and they'll give you instructions how to fix it. But again, even on those items, I've had rechecked and restickered, and they came back legit. So it's not a matter of they're fakes. No, they weren't fakes. They were just mistagged or something, or keyed in incorrectly, which happens. There are people. So jumping back into what we have now, we picked up an item. This is just a photo. Now, one of the problems and damages on how they package was their photos. That was the prime thing. Now, in the past, the way they did it was they sent it. I'm sorry, I'm looking for a. I had a little cardboard piece. 1 second. Here it is. So the way they used to do it, like 8x10s, they would have this kind of cardboard, and they would put the photo in. Have you ever seen those 3-ring binders, document sleeve protectors? Well, they'll put the photos in one of those, put it in this, and then put it in the envelope. So the back was protected with this. The front, this was protecting it. What you can see right here, there's already a dent. So, however, you know, if the front's not protected, that dent can protrude on the image itself. Whereas if you sandwich them, put 2 pieces front and back, that can help protect it. Now, they've gotten rid of that document sleeve and going to a plastic sleeve. That's, again, I thought I had it set up. Here we go. You know, it's similar to this, where it's an open plastic sleeve. It's got a little opening, but it's a self-seal, and it's a stronger plastic. It's not these. It's a little bit better than this, and has their name and everything on it. But what they do is they're now using these cardboard instead of these ones. And they put the photo and this in the sleeve. But a lot of times, they still do not sandwich it. Put this on top with the photos in between. Because again, you get protection on both sides. You do not want to use the actual packaging as a form of protection. I mean, yes, it will, but intentively, as you ship something out, you're going to think, hey, it's going to get battered, it's going to get hit, it's going to be rolled around. You want to put this added protection onto it. So, sorry, I dropped something. So this was a photo of a basketball player from the Alabama Crimson Tide. And it's Clifford Omoroe. Hope I said that right. So we're going to jump into this and see how it came. So, all right. So this is the plastic sleeve I was telling you about. There's that white background board that they use, and they sandwiched it in. Great job. That's what I was liking to see. So they have improved on that. And there it is. Now, this was one of the items they said, see our high resolution for condition. So I'm going to take a quick look at this. Now, this does not have the JSA card, and I was aware of that because they did not show it on there, and they said it was only stickered. So that's not there. And I was able to see the number on their site, and I ran it at the JSA site, and it is what it says. But we're going to open this and take a quick look. All right, because remember I said there was that dent on the board. It's kind of hard to see, but there was a dent on the board. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. There's a dent there. There was a bent corner. So we're going to look for those. Best way to see these is just put them in the light, and they will shine up a little creases, dents, scratches. And I am not seeing anything. I see a little bit of like rub scratches very mildly. Oh, there's a dent there. Let's see if you can't see that. I don't know if you can kind of see it. It's right. Oh, there it was right there. Now that's what I call a dimple dent, you know, like a dimple. And a lot of times what happens from those is where they're holding it like this and they're putting it in or something, and you get that dent from that finger. And they're posting it in there. And that's possible that that's what that is, but that was not on their thing. On their site. There's also a few scratches, mild, very mild, probably from the inside of the plastic sleeve. And but that's it. Oh, and another issue I ran into with the authentication, forgot to mention this, the signature. apparently there is a way for like inscriptions and that sort of thing to be removed. Don't know how, I've never done it, but apparently there is a way. And I've gotten photos from them when I ran the number, when I got it, and it said that there was an inscription removed, which kind of irked me off with Pristine Auction because they withheld that information. The item was altered, and they failed to tell the bidder on that, and that's withholding information. Can't be doing that, you know. And it's all scratched up from whatever process they did to remove it, and sometimes you can't even tell. So it's all based on whoever and however they did it. But hey, Pristine Auction, if you're watching this, few things I would like to point out to you. Okay, one, great job on the packaging. It's all protected. Very few marks. Like I said, that little dent. That's what I call that. You know, a little dimple. You know, where you hold it and it goes in. You know, that's just handling. I've accidentally done that myself. It's just, you just instinctively pick something up like that. But I'm dealing with this stuff. You really got to pay attention to that to help not damage that. But okay, the packaging was good. But if you check your numbers, like this is JSA, before you put it on your site for sale, run that number at the JSA site and see what it says. Like I said, I've had some where that number was not in their system, or the person it came up with did not match who was on there. The easy preventative thing, just run it before you post it. I mean, to make sure everything's okay with that. And if there's any information like a removed inscription, to let your buyer know. Do not withhold that information. Because there's nothing worse when you get something and you run it and you find it's been altered, and Pristine Auction, the seller, failed to notify that. Any buyer wants to know the full condition of it. Now, looking at your high resolution images, it's not going to tell me that an inscription was removed. Only running that number will tell us. Now, sometimes we can see that number and run it, and we can find out ourselves before auctioning it, or, you know, putting our bid in. But sometimes that number is not visible, and we don't know. And then we get it, we run it, and we find it's actually an altered item. You know, that kind of really lets us down, collectors, to know that we did not get a full, in a pristine condition. But other than that, guys, I can tell you right now, compared to what I've gotten in the past, the issues we've had, packaging, much, much better. This actually came protected on both sides and a better protective sleeve. Any damages on it, aside from that one little thing which possibly came from handling, that's just telling your guys when they're handling it, just to try to be more aware of how they're picking that stuff up. I mean, it's really nothing you can notice until the light hits it just right. I didn't even really see it until I was looking and I saw it. No card, but it did state it wasn't going to have it. JSA number matched and everything. So far, everything came in as I expected from placing the bid. Now, one little thing, just to give you a tidbit as to Pristine Auction, do remember, if you go to bid, it's the price of your bid. They have a buyer's premium of like 17%. They have shipping, which they do state in the item description. This said it was $7.50 for this item. Then they charge $8. 50-cent difference. I'm not going to complain too much about it because in the past I've actually been charged less than what it said. So, you know, I'm not going to argue too much on that one. Actually, I really don't care. Other than that, everything's coming out. Like I said, it is actually what we expect. I mean, there's a few scuff marks, but as I'm doing this, it's coming off. You know, just getting a light rub. So that's probably when it was placed inside this and it just kind of brushed up against the plastic. You know, when you get like it's the type of finish on these photos that can sometimes do it, but it's coming off very easily. Just a very mild brush on it, and even with my finger, it's coming right off. So that's not a concern. So like I said, when you bid, do keep in mind if you have a set price, you have that buyer's premium of 17%, the shipping, and the actual cost, and of course you're going to have tax too. They do take. At least I've always been charged tax based on my state. If you want to try to find good deals on their daily auction, they do have some good stuff. So if you want to get some good deals, my little suggestion is, and this is how I found some good stuff, hit the auction at about 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, close to it, because that's when their daily auctions, their 24-hour auctions, are ending. And just go through and you can change it from like bid counts from low to high or price low to high. And you can find some stuff that nobody's bidding on, or the numbers are just very low on the bids. And you can get some nice stuff at a very low price, because just during that time of day it gets missed. I've surprisingly picked up some stuff that I threw in a bid and I was sure wasn't going to get. Went to bed, 10 o'clock. Got up, I looked at it and it said, "Congratulations, you won," because nobody else bid on it. I'm like, wow, was not expecting that. So that's always a good time for it. So that's all we got on this one. Do watch for some upcoming videos. I do have something that I'm going to reach out to our followers and ask them for their help. I do have two websites, the shop and the actual hobbytable.com, and it's going to be more in pertaining to that website. And I'll have some giveaways associated with it to say thank you for what I'm doing, what I'm trying to get from you guys. So watch the video on that for some information. I also have a few other openings and checking out on a couple items to get caught up with. I actually have 3 things and I have a 4th on the way. So I'm getting back into the videos. Hey guys, thanks a lot. Won't take up any more of your time. And thank you for everyone who's put in comments about things on the videos, the good, the bad. It really helps me to decide on how to maintain these, how to do them, how to push them out. I admit by myself, I don't do them too good sometimes. When I first started this, I had a little like co-host with me, but she's off doing her own thing now. So, but thank you for everyone that does that. And hey guys, watch our shop. We do get a lot of good sales. I am a reseller. I find stuff like this, try to get a good price and get that price back to you as low as we can. And I'm not in this for massive profit. It's just enough to keep things going. Like I said, this is a part-time thing. It's fun learning experience, learning about different things, different aspects, meeting different people. It's been great. So it's going to try to keep that rolling. So thanks a lot, guys, again, and do watch out for those videos. As always, happy collecting and safe collecting, and we'll see you next time. If you know of a business that you're curious about and would like us to check out, or if you have a business that you know of is really good and like to pass the word on, send it to us at info@thehobbytable.com. Again, that's info@thehobbytable.com.